Good morning. Happy Friday. Let's see. Okay. Have to click on over to Instagram. Good morning. Happy Friday. It's a helicopter literally flying over my house right now. So if you can hear that, that's what it is. You know how some mornings you're doing whatever the things are that you need to do and you're like, oh, I'm good on time, I'm good on time, and then you look up and you're like, actually you're not good on time. So that's how this morning was. It's just like, I'm good on time, I'm good on time, and then I wasn't good on time. So I am just getting my coffee. Normally I have already done it by the time I hit live. So I just finished boiling my milk. And when I'm using one of these fancy cups that my sister bought me, which I do love, I can't put them in the microwave because they have metal on them. So then that just adds an extra step of separately boiling the milk and then pouring my coffee in. But I hope you guys are doing great. It's spring. Yay. The birds are chirping outside. Things are starting to bloom. It's warm. At least today it is. So yeah, I'm excited. And today I wanted to talk about, we always talk about spring cleaning, and that's a thing, of course. But I really feel like the cleaning is not the issue. The issue is the decluttering, and that is a challenge because it can be very emotional. And so I'm going to type that into our topic today. Today's topic is spring cleaning. I'm going to start with spring cleaning and decluttering. What's your challenge? Okay. Good morning, everyone. Let me know who's here. Hop in the chat. I see you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, Idella, Dorothea, Yaya Roth. Good morning, good morning. Oh, okay. Thank you, Nidella, for the heads up. I appreciate it. If you're still in Jersey, I hope all is well. She said she's headed to an appointment. She'll stay on as long as she can. I appreciate you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Denise. If you're from the South, you know. We like to add lots of consonants in places they don't belong. And, we'll throw an R in there, hello. So good morning, good morning. So today's topic is spring cleaning and decluttering. It is such an emotional topic, I think. And we're going to talk about some tips for decluttering your closet. But the truth is that these work for any area of your life, right? I mean, it could be the pantry, it could be the garage, it could be decluttering your closet, your calendar. I tell you, I'm just getting my coffee. So here's some tips, and I also want to know tips that have worked for you, and what are your challenges? Because I do think it's an emotional exercise as much as it is, a time-consuming exercise. So if you're just hopping on, happy Friday, good morning, happy spring. I hope if you live in a really cold climate, I hope it's starting to warm up a little bit. Good morning, Regina. Good morning, Mia. How's everyone? Thank you guys for hopping on this morning. So our topic for today, because it's spring, I thought, we'll be hearing a lot about spring cleaning, but I really feel like the challenge is decluttering. And a couple of months ago, I did a YouTube, a long content vlog on how to declutter your closet, and it was very well received. And so I thought I'd revisit that again this morning on our coffee chat. And then if you're interested, you can hop on over and take a look at the vlog. I think it's about 15 or 20 minutes. I don't do vlogs longer than 20 minutes. I'm serious about the editing process. So let's talk about what some steps to just get you moving in the right direction. Like I said, we're using the closet as an example, but it really can be with any area of your life. And as I'm chatting and sharing some of the tips that I have personally found helpful, because I had to do some decluttering myself, I want to know, what things have worked for y'all. And what are your challenges when it comes to decluttering? So first and foremost, you have to commit to the process. I mean, you just have to make up in your mind, I'm going to do this thing. Because once you commit to the process, then you've carved out the mental, not just the time, but the mental energy to do it. And I will say, when it comes to decluttering your closet, it's going to take a whole lot longer than you think. I thought it was going to be like a 2-weekend project, and it wound up taking me a couple of months. And I'm going to tell you why it took so long. And that's just me. It may not take you that long. But the first thing you have to do when you decide to declutter your closet, you have to take everything out. You got to take everything out. And most of the time when we think we're decluttering our closet, what you're doing is you're kind of like going through, you're moving the hangers and you're just like, no. You might take a few things out and donate them, Dress for Success, Goodwill, whatever, your local nonprofit is. That's a great place to donate clothing. You're just kind of, and that might take you a few minutes, and you pull a few hangers out and you feel so good about yourself, right? Because you're donating to a worthy cause. You feel like you've cleaned out your closet, but trust me, that is not decluttering. You have to take everything out. So in starting the process, you got to first figure out, where am I going to put all of this stuff? So for me, we're empty nesters, so I did have an extra bedroom, and I put everything in my daughter's bedroom. And looking at all of that stuff outside of your closet, you will be, however much you think you have, you will be amazed at how much stuff you realize you have, and then you immediately realize, I do not wear this stuff. I don't wear it all. So that's why taking it all out. Yes, absolutely. Attachment to things. And we're going to talk about that, S. Malone. You're absolutely right, because it is, for many of the pieces, it's emotional. So take literally everything out. The other advantage of taking everything out of your closet is you actually come up with some new ways of organizing things. And I would never have come up with that had I not just emptied the closet out. And it doesn't matter how big your closet is. I don't have like this big, I know if you're on YouTube a lot, you see a lot of influencers, they have rooms that they have converted into a closet. No, I have a closet that I share with my husband in the primary bedroom. So it's not even a whole closet for me. It's my part of the closet. And so this is not about the size of your closet. This is about making the most efficient use of the space that you have. Now, in full transparency, I do have things in other rooms, but that's where I keep seasonal stuff. But just talking about the primary closet, because I use those same tips to kind of clean out the other closets as well. So take everything out and then sort them, right? Like whether it's pants and shirts and just sort everything. And that in and of itself could be a weekend. And this includes shoes and purses and accessories and all the things. Does that make sense? Like, and what is what I'm saying making sense? Hey, Instagram, how you guys doing over there? Good morning. Good morning, Sean. Good morning, Zanade. Oh, hey, girl. We met a few months ago in New York. Hey, thanks for hopping on. Yeah, good to see you. So if you just hopped on this morning, we're giving tips on how to declutter your closet. First is take everything out. You got to take everything out. Second is sort the items. And then when you sort like items, then you can go through all of your pants and look at those. Keep donate, I don't know. The keep, donate, I don't know. The other thing you need to do is you need to try some stuff on, because if you haven't worn it in 2 years, I don't think that's a reason to get rid of things, because I have things in my closet that are 4, 5, 6 years old that I may not wear every year, but they're classics and they're closet essentials. And so they don't get thrown away. But you do need to try everything on, because if you don't like the way you feel in it, donate it. Get rid of it, girl. You don't need things in your closet that make you feel bad. Okay. So no matter how much you love it, if you can't fit it anymore and it doesn't make you feel good when you put it on, get rid of it. Goodbye. Okay. So try everything on. Put your piles, keep, donate, I don't know. And then the I don't know, you got to evaluate why. Why don't you know? Why don't you know? Fear. Okay. Regina says, I'm fearful of getting rid of something and needing it later. I mean, that's truth, because during COVID, I did a lot of, I donated probably half of my clothes during COVID, because it was also shortly after I had transitioned from a corporate type job. I worked in healthcare, but I didn't wear like scrubs or anything like that. I wore regular business clothes, and I transitioned to being a beauty entrepreneur. And that's a completely different kind of wardrobe. And so a lot of suits and things like that, I did get rid of. But I'll be honest with you, Regina, there were a few things I wish I had held on to. But if getting rid of a couple of things that I regretted meant keeping all the stuff that I needed to get rid of, that was just a price I'm willing to pay. So yeah, there were a couple of things, and it's only a couple. Like, why did I give that skirt away? Or why did I give those jeans away? It's two things that I can literally think of them right now. Everything else I got rid of, it needed to go. So yes, that is valid. That is valid. But I bet there are a lot of things that we're holding on to that we're just not wearing, but we're holding on to them because they're in great shape and there's nothing wrong with them, which is good. But you can bless somebody else with that, and open up your closet for the things that you really, really love. So, and then also the emotional part, that was a great point, because there are things that I'm going to put that comment, let me go back up. Somebody did, that was a comment somebody made about the emotional ties. I know I saw it. Oh, yeah. That was S. Malone again. You're right. Emotional things. So sometimes it's not something that we're going to wear again. It's a memory attached to that piece of clothing. But I would challenge you to say, is there another way you can preserve that memory? Like, are there pictures? um I don't know, is there something else? Because otherwise you're using your closet like a wall to display things. And so sometimes we just have to acknowledge, this is a good memory, but I still need to get rid of this thing. It's not like it's your child's christening gown, right? That's something that you can frame. That's something you can give to your child if they want it. A lot of our adult children don't. Maybe it could even be a family heirloom. But I'm talking about things that we put on our own bodies that we're not going to wear again, but there's just the emotional attachment to it. There was a dress that I had, and I kept wondering, like, why am I hanging on to this dress? There's nothing wrong with it, but I just hadn't worn it in probably like 3 or 4 years. And I realized it was a dress that I bought when I was shopping with my daughter. So, I mean, she's an adult now, but for years we had this tradition where we shopped the after Christmas sales. Like, we would go on the 27th or the 28th, and we would just, like, with reckless abandon, shop all the after Christmas sales. And so I remember that dress was from our last shopping trip, because once she graduated from college, she moved off somewhere else. And so we just she would be home for the holidays, but we hadn't done that shopping thing in a long time. And I realized like, oh, that's why I'm holding on to this dress. And I ultimately did donate it because I realized like, I still have the memories. I have her, and I just gave myself grace and let somebody else be blessed by that dress. But that is true. We do have memories that are tied, and sometimes they're really good memories. But that's not necessarily a reason to hang on to something that you're no longer using. Okay. So I'm loving. There's a time for everything. A time that, yes, I'm going to put this up. You're preaching this morning. That's true. There's a time for everything. A time to keep and a time to throw away. You're right. You're right. So we've taken everything out. We've sorted everything by like, pants, shirts, dresses, whatever. Keep, donate, I don't know. You got to do the emotional work of going through the I don't know pile. Because I would venture to say most of that stuff in the I don't know is not being worn and will probably go to the donate. Okay, so now before you put everything back in the closet, reevaluate your space. Check out YouTube or Pinterest, just do some research on organizing a closet and organizing a closet that's the size of your closet. And you will get a lot of great ideas. And in fact, the ideas that I got for reorganizing my closet, I actually got those ideas from a closet that's much, much bigger than mine, like one of those dream closets you see on Pinterest or YouTube. But I just took elements that I saw and I was like, oh, I can do this in my closet. But you can't think about that space when there's stuff in the space. And that's why taking it out is important. So one thing, let me hop on over to Instagram, make sure the emotional attachment to things, it gets crazy. You're right, Nigella. Yes, yes, yes. Regine says the things I do not wear, but keepsakes are preserved in a dresser drawer in the guest bedroom. That's just her 2 cents. No, that's not your 1 cent. No, look, we all have to do what we have to do. The things I do not wear, but they're keepsakes. No, absolutely. And we do have things that are keepsakes that we will never wear again, and that's okay. I am not saying that because it's a keepsake, you need to get rid of it. I'm just giving us some tools and tips for how to declutter some of the things that we absolutely can't get rid of. But yeah, I'm by no means, I'm a very sentimental person. I have baby clothes from our 2 children. So I am by no means saying just if you don't wear it, trash it. But I do think that we all have room to possibly get rid of some stuff that we just aren't wearing and things that aren't serving us. Like I'm really big on getting rid of things that no longer serve us and don't make us feel good. Like something that, doesn't fit, but we loved it so much. But when you put it on, you feel bad because you can't fit it. So I'm not a proponent of you keeping something that makes you feel bad about yourself. Not that I will put my stake in the ground on that. But thank you, Regina. Thank you for bringing that up because, I am a very sentimental person as well. So, I completely understand. S. Milan says, whenever I've had to move in the past, yeah, it forces you to declutter. In the frenzy, I got rid of stuff that I wish I had kept. Yeah, yeah. That was my COVID purge. Yeah, yeah. Which is why it's actually good to do this seasonally. So the last time, like I did the vlog in January, but it was really recapping something I had done over a year ago and just realized it might be helpful to other people. But as it's starting to get warm, I'm going to go through that process again. I don't need to pull everything out, but there were some things last year when I was putting winter clothes in. I thought, okay, if I don't wear this season, meaning the winter season we just finished, like I'm going to give it away. Like, cause that means I don't have any use for it anymore. So, so that's why doing it periodically is good. And then when you're in that crunch of, oh, I'm moving, or, some other major life event is happening, you can make decisions without being in a rush. But yeah, I've definitely been there too. It's like, it's got to go. And then that's like those two things that I'm thinking of right now that I wish I hadn't gotten rid of. So I completely understand. So emptying out your space helps you reimagine the space in a different way. So here's an example. And remember, I just have a part of the closet, in our primary bedroom that the closet that I share with my husband. So I want you to know, I don't have one of those big rooms that's been converted into a dream closet. But what I realized when I took all the space out, that I had this space, there's a window, there's this space under a window. And I was trying to decide, because the light is amazing. I was like, I could either put a vanity here and do my makeup here, or I could put a piece of furniture here. So I opted for a piece of furniture. And there was a chest in my daughter's room, she doesn't live here anymore, even though if you walk in that room, it looks like somebody lives there. So I took this chest and put it in my closet. And so now I have scarves and just, I don't want to say random things, but there's a lot of stuff in there that frees up. I don't even know where that stuff was before. It was probably everywhere. It's probably up on shelves. It was probably all over the place. Whereas now I have these 9 drawers, and I've got sunglasses in one, and some are chunky jewelry and t-shirts, that I roll up, like my things like this that are in there, things that I wear every day, leggings, accessories like belt, like it's so good. And a lot of those things, like a lot of scarves were on hangers. Well, now I've freed that space up. So when you take everything out of the closet, it's a good way to reimagine that space. And you can just use some inspiration from anywhere and think about using things that are already in your house. That's the other thing. I didn't buy anything new. No, I didn't. The dresser came from my daughter's room. I reorganized things. At first I had shoes on the top, but I'm the kind of person, like, I don't need to see my shoes. They can, so I put them back on the floor. And now on the top shelves of the closet, I have my purses, which used to be out of sight. And now they're kind of like decoration, and I get to see them. So when I'm getting dressed, I just use them a lot more because now I can see everything. So that's the other thing about freeing up space and reimagining things in a different way. And then you can see things better, and you'll wear what you have better. So good morning, everybody. If you're just hopping on, welcome to Coffee with Angel. Today's topic, I've been sharing some tips on decluttering our closet. It's springtime, is when we think about spring cleaning, but I contend that cleaning isn't the issue. Decluttering is. My son is calling me. Yeah, Coffee with Angel, boo. I know you forgot. Sorry, y'all. Last week, my sister called me. Like, y'all know I'm working right now. Good morning, the Muse Curls. So if you're just hopping on, today's topic was tips on how to declutter your closet. There is a I say 20 minutes. There's a YouTube vlog that I did back in January where I go into a lot more detail about tips and different things that I did in my closet space, this is a regular closet. It's not like a big, I keep saying that because I really think people think that they can't have a nice closet when it's small, because we're so used to seeing these people with these huge rooms that are closets with chandeliers and lots of, and they're great, they're beautiful, but you don't need that to have a beautiful, well-organized closet that serves you well. And one of the best things about the process when you're finally done is one, you will enjoy getting dressed so much more. I find that I am wearing things in I'm wearing more of my clothes because I don't have as much stuff, so everything's not smushed together. So I'm wearing more of my clothes. The other thing about the decluttering and reorganizing process is that it allowed me to I was able to find some holes in my wardrobe. Like I had been buying too much of one thing, definitely too much of a certain color, black, which I still wear a lot. I love black, but it forced me to kind of um, step outside my comfort zone from a color spectrum. I realized that I was still dressing very corporate-y, despite thinking that I had gotten rid of, most of my suits and stuff like that. And so I really have challenged myself over the last 6 months to step out of my comfort zone, be more adventurous with style and with color, and have fun with fashion. That clothes should be fun. And in my previous life, it was like a uniform. It was the thing that I wore to work. It was the thing that I did to do my job. And I still have a uniform as a beauty founder, but it's so much more fun now. And so that's what the decluttering process did for me. And those were benefits I wasn't even thinking about. I was just sick of being frustrated when I walked in my closet. S. Malone says she has a rule whenever she shops, if she buys something new, ooh, I need to remove 2 old pieces. Huh. I mean, if you, that's not a bad rule. That's not a bad rule. It makes sense because it really forces you to think about, do I really, really need this item? And I would say give yourself grace on the throwaway. I mean, just because you might really, really need that if after the decluttering process, you have found a bunch of holes in your closet. Because I did. I didn't have enough bright colors. I mean, everything was, I don't want to say it was dull and flat, but I definitely needed to infuse more lively colors, more primary colors. What is my new uniform formula? I know the corporate uniform is very, very easy. Honestly, Marcia, it depends on where I'm going and who my audience is. Yes, I am a beauty founder. And I guess by virtue of that, you would think, well, you can have more fun, you have more flexibility with your wardrobe. But I will say, the way I dress if I'm going to a meeting in New York could be different if I'm going to a meeting somewhere in the South, if it's a business meeting. I'm still going to be fashionable and chic, but I'm definitely going to be a little bit more conservative depending on who the audience is in the South. So yeah, and it depends on what I know about my audience. Like some company cultures are super, super casual. Like it could be a very high level meeting. I mean, really high level, but I know people are gonna walk in jeans and a polo shirt, or the women will have slacks and a button down. And so me walking in with, like a pantsuit and, it's out of place because that's not the culture of this particular organization. And so that's the one thing that's different for me in this new career than the before. I have a lot of different audiences, all doing the same work within the beauty industry, but depending on where I am, I dress to based on the culture that I'm going to. That's a great question. That's a great question. That is a great question. I actually have a speaking engagement Monday. Super excited to share that with y'all on Monday. So I'll be doing some behind the scenes Monday, and then I'll do a long vlog on it. But like, I'm very conscientious of what I'm going to wear for that audience. And it's completely different than if I was, say, speaking to a group in New York or speaking to a group in Houston or speaking to Houston, New Orleans. They're both the South, kind of. New Orleans is a little bit more edgy. I can say that because I'm from New Orleans. But yeah, for me right now, it definitely depends on the audience. Yep, yep, yep. Good morning, good morning. My closet organizer is scheduled. Oh, that's so funny. Good morning, Sir S. Mrs. CDJ 63. Good morning, good morning. She has a closet organizer scheduled for next Friday to help her declutter. She's super excited. I think you should be. I mean, if you can get somebody else to do that for you, that would be great. I learned a lot about myself doing it myself. But there are people that is their job and they're really good at it. However it gets done, it needs to get done if you've never had it. Sean says she has PTSD on decluttering her closet the last time she did it. True story, the entire closet rack fell off the wall after I had everything back and organized. Oh my gosh. Okay, Sean, if we're doing real talk, I have a real talk story too. That is hilarious. That means, girl, you had a lot of clothes. Now I have seen, if y'all not following Sean Unleashed, she has the wardrobe chef's kiss. So she was probably asking more of that she was asking more of that rack than it was capable of doing. That's what I'm gonna say, because I have seen the wardrobe, Sean. So yeah, you needed some reinforcements. So true story, when I decluttered, I got everything back in the closet, like I put everything up. I was like 80% done. And I was looking around and I was like, ew, something doesn't look right. It was, I took everything out and I painted the closet. I painted it. It was the basic dull, you know, and it was a lot duller when I think about it than it was when we actually moved into the house, because, paint color is dull. And it was just like the builder off white, it then special. And so, like, I had gone through all of this trouble to organize everything and it was looking good. And I took it all down and again, and I painted, which is why taking everything out is so helpful. So the color that I painted, I had redone my office a couple of years before. I do a lot of DIY projects and I paint walls, like I paint. And so I had this very light blue dove gray, ish color in my office. I wanted something really soothing. And so I had a little bit of that left and put some sample swabs all over the closet to see like what it would look like in different light. And I loved it. I loved it so much. And so that's another like hack to make your space beautiful. Think about painting it. Obviously, you don't want something, it needs to be very, very neutral and it needs to be bright, but I painted it and it made all the difference in the world. And I just painted the walls because the shelves were already like a glossy white. I mean, that's just what the builder did. The other thing that I did, I got some strip lights from Amazon, the ones that you just kind of tape under counter like that. And so when I go in there to shoot content, which I don't very often, but I'll turn that on and it gives it a nice look. And another thing I have are these motion lights. Like you just saw me take that from there. So you can put it either on motion or on remote. And so I have that. Okay, now I got to turn it off. And I have some of those in my closet too for when I'm shooting content, and it just gives it a nice light. Or if I'm looking for something special and I just want as much light in the closet as possible. But these things are super cheap. You can get them from Amazon or any home improvement store. The strip lights were under $20. You just have to measure how, and get as many strips as you need. So those are just little hacks to, make your closet beautiful, make it a fun place to go into, and yeah, and have fun with fashion. Good closet goals. So, just a reminder, if you're just hopping on, we talked today about some tips for decluttering your closet. As always, thank you guys so much for your input, for sharing. We know that when it comes to clothes, we have a lot of emotional attachment to things, even some of the things we're not wearing. If you're just hopping on, you can watch it later. I'll upload this to YouTube, but also I'll put in the link. There is a vlog that I actually did on how to declutter your closet, with a lot of the tips that I'm talking about now, but also links to different things that I use. And I just kind of I go into detail about the strategy of how I organize things, and what I did. And it works. It makes getting dressed so much easier for me. So that's it today, you guys, for Coffee with Angel. This episode will be my last upload to YouTube for a while, because I'm traveling all week. So I won't upload any more vlogs this week. If I did upload one yesterday or the day before for my first TV ad, that was a wild, crazy, incredible experience, an opportunity that I'm really, really grateful for. So check out the behind the scenes. I posted it on YouTube. I'm sorry, I posted the ad on Instagram and Facebook, but I did a behind the scenes of like the process up on YouTube. So it's about 15 minutes. Take a look and you'll see how the sausage is made. But thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. I will be back for Coffee with Angel next Friday, because I get back in town Thursday evening. So thank you guys so much. Stay tuned for my behind the scenes that I'll be dropping on probably Tuesday of my speaking engagement on Monday. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Have an amazing weekend, and I will see you next time on Coffee with Angel in the DMs. Take care. Bye-bye. Thanks, guys. Oh, I forgot to post that.